with your players maybe, got into them about how they felt the game went yesterday. What did you come out with?
Disappointment, missed opportunity. I think they're the two main things, and not just from the game yesterday afternoon. I think from the last 3 games we've now had. I think the performances in terms of tactically, technically, how we set up the game, how the players performed in between both boxes, very good. But in the moments that mattered, we haven't taken advantage of the moments. And for me, we should have 4 more points from the 2 games before, and definitely at least a point from our performance, barring those moments.
We talked, I know, a lot post-match about discipline. We can guess what's happening. You can have an idea. What are the players saying to you about it?
It needs to improve. It needs to improve.
And who's going to take that responsibility? Does that almost have to come from them when you go back and look at some of them?
Yeah, my job is to create work culture, is to create a culture of accountability, where if you make a mistake, it's okay, you hold your hands up and you make sure it doesn't happen again. But you have to hold your hands up to the original mistake. If I make the wrong team selection or I get something wrong, my job is to be accountable, and it's the same for my players in that moment.
Because I don't know whether you've seen the other clip of Neto getting his first yellow, and he goes on and he goes on, and Reece James tries to move him away, and he carries on and he carries on. So in that moment, who has to have a word with him? Who has to say, why are you doing that?
Yeah, you need teammates to help you, but it comes down to yourself as well. Look, Pedro's apologised to the group. We miss him for Wednesday. I just need to see an improvement in the behaviour now. And it's not just Pedro. We've had bookings, people speaking about dissent. We've had needless bookings in terms of fouls. If we are to improve and get to where we want to be, we have to make a conscious step now to make sure it doesn't happen again.
One more in discipline from me.
It won't be the last of the press conference, so it's all good, absolutely fine.
Because you mentioned dissent, and you look at the players that have got yellow cards from dissent, and since August 2023, Enzo Fernandez has got 12 yellows. He's your vice captain. Okay, so if your vice captain is getting booked for dissent all the time, what message does that send out to the rest of the side? And do you have to maybe think about him as a vice captain within?
Never. Enzo's a top leader. Not even entered my mind.
Top leaders keep getting booked though.
Yeah, if you feel there's something that needs to improve, and yes, we're a young team. It's not an excuse. We have an outstanding team. They're young. We are one of the youngest in the league, one of the youngest in Europe. The beautiful thing about having a young team is sometimes you need to go through experiences to improve. This is a massive learning experience for my group. I do not want it to be a learning experience where we fail in what we want to achieve, but these setbacks that we are having, we have to learn from, because if we do learn from them, we've proven, even in my short time here, that we can be an elite team for a long time.
Yeah, but just finally for me, and I know that it's all sounding quite negative, but I just wanted to pick up on something else we spoke about last night in terms of Sanchez and his performance again yesterday. And you sat there and talked about not wanting to make players do what they're not comfortable doing. Is he becoming more comfortable doing what he's doing? Because watching him yesterday, there was that sense of the crowd on his back. He feels quite nervous. He looks quite nervous. And how is his confidence in him performing in the way that you want him to perform in the system that you're trying to impose on your team?
I think each player adds to the overall
press conference. Liam Rosenior ahead of Chelsea's clash with Aston Villa. As the rain drizzled softly against the glass panes of the media room at Chelsea's Cobham training ground, the atmosphere was both tense and anticipatory. Liam Rosenior, Chelsea's interim manager, paced back and forth, waiting to confront an onslaught of questions from the gathered media. After a frustrating result against Arsenal, the urgency to bounce back was palpable. The aftermath of Arsenal. Liam's face bore the marks of disappointment as he settled into his seat. The aftermath of the match against Arsenal had clearly left a bitter taste in his mouth. Chelsea had gone into that game with high hopes, a belief that they could reclaim their spot among the league's elite. The players were energized, their spirits buoyed by training sessions that had focused on solidifying defensive structures and fine-tuning attacking combinations. Yet the reality of the match was far from their aspirations. I think it's crucial to understand that football often serves as a reminder of how fleeting joy can be, he began, his tone measured, but revealing the weight of the past week. We had prepared meticulously, and to see our hard work undone was disheartening. Assessing the performance. Against Arsenal, Chelsea had shown glimpses of promise, but were ultimately outplayed. Rosenior reflected on specific moments that could have turned the tide. In the first half, there were chances that we created. When you're up against a top side like Arsenal, you need to convert those into goals. We failed to do that, and it cost us. He acknowledged the importance of mental resilience. Football is as much about the mindset as it is about skill. I saw moments where doubt crept in after we went a goal down. We need to build a mentality where we can remain composed under pressure. Moving forward, lessons learned. As the questions began to flow, Rosenior emphasized the need for growth. Every setback is a chance to learn, he asserted. In this league, you can't afford to dwell on the past. Aston Villa is next, and they're a formidable opponent. We need to channel that disappointment into fuel for our performance. His shift shifted towards the training sessions leading up to the match against Aston Villa. We have had some intense sessions focusing on tactical discipline and creating fluidity in attack, he said, noting that they were also working on defensive organization to avoid the lapses that had cost them against Arsenal. The importance of team morale. Rosenior was also aware of the need to uplift his players. Getting the squad back to a positive mindset is essential. The togetherness within the group has been impressive. We have experienced players who know how to handle setbacks, and that is invaluable. A query about the team's morale prompted a thoughtful answer. It's about fostering an environment where players feel secure enough to express themselves. They need to know that mistakes are part of the journey. We learn and build. Aston Villa, a different challenge. Shifting the focus towards the upcoming opponents, Rosenior elaborated on Aston Villa. They're a well-coached team under Unai Emery. They have quality players and a style that can trouble any side in this league. It's critical that we respect them and prepare accordingly. His insights into Villa's tactics showcased a thorough understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. We need to be mindful of their counterattacking ability. They can hit you on the break if we're not alert. That means discipline in our positioning and ensuring we maintain a solid shape. Tactical adjustments. When asked about potential tactical changes, Rosenior didn't hesitate. We may look at tweaking our formation. Flexibility will be key in this match. It's about finding the right balance between attacking creativity and defensive solidity. A follow-up question asked about individual player performances and their impact. I believe in every player in this squad, he stated confidently. Everyone has a role to play. Whether it's starting or coming off the bench, each player's contribution is vital. Emphasizing the fans. Another area Rosenior was keen to address was the relationship with the fans. The support from our fans has been incredible, even in tough matches. They give us that extra boost. It's important that we acknowledge their dedication and give them something to cheer about. He urged fans to rally behind the team as they aim for redemption at Villa Park. We know what's at stake, and we'll do everything to make them proud. A united front is essential. Building for the future. While the immediate focus was on Aston Villa, Rosenior couldn't help but think longer term. This season is not just about results, it's about laying a foundation for the future. We are building something here. Every match contributes to that progress, he reflected. Rosenier's vision included nurturing young talent, integrating them into a competitive squad. The club has a rich history of developing youngsters. We want to continue that tradition while ensuring we remain competitive at the highest level. Closing remarks. As the conference drew to a close, Rosenior took a deep breath, summoning the energy he would need for the demanding week ahead. We have faced a significant challenge in the form of Arsenal, and our response must be strong. Aston Villa represents another opportunity for us to demonstrate our character and resilience, he concluded. With one last glance at the assembled media, a hint of determination crossed his face. It was clear that while the weight of disappointment lingered, the focus had already shifted towards rebuilding, regaining momentum, and fostering a squad ready to embrace the challenges ahead. This press conference encapsulated not just the immediate hurdles Rosenior faced ahead of the match, but also highlighted the long-term aspirations he held for Chelsea. In football, as in life, the essence lies in continuous evolution, growth, and the relentless pursuit